All right, everybody, what's going on? It is another Tuesday night, so you already know it's time for the Big Three podcast. Got a full show today. Everybody's back. We're here. We know we're here every Tuesdays at 7 o'clock. So, as you guys coming in the chat, make sure you let us know you're here. Get active. We'd like to interact with you guys. But before we get into the show and our first topic, just want to say what's up to everybody. So, Jake, how are you doing today?
Great. I had a really great weekend. Really nice weather. Just can't complain. I'm excited for the show. A lot to talk about. Got to talk some baseball, which is always exciting. A lot of free agency, and before we know it, football season's going to be here. So just excited for everything we got going on.
Cannot wait for football season. Dylan, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. I enjoyed the home run derby yesterday. My boy won. So that's always good to see. Overall, doing pretty good. Getting excited for football, and college football is getting really close to starting, which I'm ecstatic for. So yeah, just excited and got a lot of good UFC events. I'm a big UFC guy, like you guys know. So yeah, just enjoying different things like that. Glad I have some different things to watch while I wait on football.
What's going on, Sijin? Calling us the Four Horsemen. I'll take it. Jordan, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Feeling good. I think your boy Big J turned 25 on Sunday. Got a birthday. So on our next show, I'll be 25. So I'm probably gonna go out with the family. Probably to the city on Sunday. Go with the boys on Friday. But hey, I'm celebrating my birthday all month. So, but like Dylan said, home and derby was awesome. It was all right. With the Pete Alonso, Ali Richardson, Guerrero, young stars, Rodriguez. I had him winning it, but we'll dive into that. But obviously NFL's coming up. NBA, we saw a little glimpse of Wemby in the summer league. Of course, people are overreacting. I'm ready to get going, man. So
that's what we do. People will watch things, overreact to people. It's just the normal sports business. What's going on, Jory? Appreciate you tuning in. You always do, so it's all good. But yeah, as Jordan said, home run derby was last night. It was for a sport in baseball that people say struggles to kind of market their stars. The home run derby is probably the best way to do it. These guys are up there. They get 3 minutes or whatever the round is, and as they progress on, fans get to see them. So baseball does that well. Now, if you didn't see it, Vladdy Guerrero won in the final against Randy Arozarena. Going into it, there were some favorites that didn't make it as far. Pete Alonso is one because he actually won the past 2 years, trying to go for the three-peat, but he came out short. And with Vladdy, everybody knows, but we got to see some young up and rising stars as well. Rosarena passed that World Series run that the Rays made, and Rosarena kind of made a little bit of a name for himself. Adolis Garcia. I don't know if a lot of people know him in Texas, but as you can tell from last night, dude is a strong guy. But looking at it, I guess the first question would be: are you a fan of like the home run derby in general? Is there anything about it that you would change? We'll start there. We'll go with Dylan first.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, for starters, yes, I do like the home run derby. I like the home run derby a lot. It's like one of the things of baseball. Like, even if I wasn't a big baseball fan, I'd be like, I want to go watch a bunch of players just crack home runs. That sounds cool because that's the fun thing in baseball. People want to see home runs. So, yes, I do enjoy it. The current format, I'm not sure if there's anything I would change. I mean, maybe shorter starter rounds, like in your quarterfinals, maybe a shorter one in your semis. So by the finals, they have more energy to make it like a more exciting final. Maybe they have a lot more energies to maybe try to get in that 30-40 range and like the finals rather than maybe the start. I don't know, something along those lines. But overall, I don't hate the current format. Um, I enjoy it. I mean, we were talking earlier on the show. Everyone getting bonus time doesn't seem very, very, very right. I think maybe just do it as like reward them for hitting long home runs since that's the point of the competition and just keep it at that. But overall, I enjoy it.
Okay. Jordan.
Yeah, I like it. Definitely a different bunch of or a different group of people. I know we had Stanton one year, we had Judge one year. I know Shohei was hurt, so you didn't get to be in it. It would have been
Fun.
yeah, that would have been so fun. But or Mike Trout, but he's been hurt. So kind of a weird well, other than Alonso, and like you said, I don't know the dude from Texas, so it's kind of weird, kind of a weird kind of bunch of people. I know Rodriguez is the home guy from Seattle. Um, he's a fan favorite, but yeah, like last year, I could have sworn that the rules were like if you hit like a 460 plus bomber, you get like extra time. But this year was kind of weird that like everyone got 30 extra minutes or 30 extra seconds, so it's kind of weird. Because I feel like you have to earn that 30 seconds. That dropped off the rules where I think if you hit like a 40, 50 plus home run, you get like extra time. But and then they have the T-Mobile, or don't they have like a T-Mobile home run ball you have to hit, or whatever? Kind of like the All-Star game,
Yeah,
if you like
that's
the
what it
Mountain
is in
Dew
the
ball.
30 seconds,
Yeah.
basically. That's what it is in the 30 seconds.
So yeah, it was kind of like a weird. It was like a weird bunch of a group, but definitely a really entertaining one with Rodriguez and Guerrero, young faces of the league coming up. So yeah, I like it. Like my dad was funny. He was like, "I mean, don't change the channel, man." Like he was like, "Oh, what did he do? Just hitting home runs? Like, no, not entertaining." I'm like, "Dad, like." This is what the home run derby is. Like, he was like, they're just standing there. I think it was like they cut the camera to, I think, Rosarena. He was just standing there doing nothing. He was talking to like the cameraman. And like, oh, this is boring. So you turn the channel. But no, I mean, I like it. It's fun, entertaining. But yeah, the whole 30-second thing was kind of weird this year. Like where everyone got it, started earning it. So
Yeah, I got you. Jake, was there?
Yeah,
about it that you would?
sure. Normally I do. I didn't get a chance to watch it last night. I had a bunch of things going on. Normally this is an event that I do watch. The home run derby is kind of what, even if you're a casual baseball fan or not even a huge baseball fan in general, this is an event that's fun to watch. It's kind of, you can mark it similar to the slam dunk contest back when the slam dunk contest had good stuff like Vince Carter, those kind of things. It's something you want to see. It's the reason we go to the ballparks. It's the reason why baseball is very popular. Had a big popularity boost in the 90s, early 2000s because they were hitting lots of home runs. As far as for changes that they would do, I really like Dylan's idea of giving less time in the earlier rounds and more time in the later rounds because it feels, when I watch it, it's more of an endurance run by the time you get to the end. And we're not seeing the best of the best. We're not seeing their best stuff. And there is some gamesmanship where you have to factor in your endurance in round to round. And I do like that, but save it for the end. I will give baseball some credit. They've made a lot of good changes over the years. I like the bracket format that they've had because before it wasn't always brackets or just a cutoff point. And I like the matchup. No matter what sport it is, tournaments are always fun. They make for really good drama based on matchups and pairings, and that's really good. Another improvement, maybe just for fun, maybe juice the balls a little bit so we just see them go a little farther, or add extra reward home runs that go further, whether it's rest. Maybe they count for a home run and a half if they go 460 plus feet or whatever. Something like that could add a little bit to it. But overall, I think baseball's made some good changes for it. We give a lot of crap for baseball for not making changes, but they've done pretty well on a lot of things in the home run derby in the past. So give them some credit for that.
All right, so Anthony has an interesting question. Does baseball have the best All-Star week out of the major sports?
Well, what does hockey do for their All-Star? They had like the
Hockey
skills
actually
competition.
has a decent All-Star.
Yeah, they
do skills competition, and
competition.
their All-Star game is done as a bracket type, so each division plays against the other divisions, and then one division ends up as the winner of the All-Star game.
Yeah. That's a good question. Because
I'll say this for me, that football is the lowest of the four.
Yes,
Agreed.
Yeah,
Like,
I
and
agree.
it's funny because like football is the highest for that I'm going to watch of the four, but the Pro Bowl I don't care about. All their skills, like I don't care. Like for me, it's more depressing watching the Pro Bowl because I know football's going away in a week than to actually just watch. Watching it makes me depressed because I know the end is near and the quality of what you're getting isn't great. So for me, football's at the bottom.
But then again, I mean, I get what Jake's saying. I get what you're saying, Jake, and then I agree that the Pro Bowl is like you can rank that if it's like MLB, NHL, MEA. Definitely football's down on the totem pole. But I mean, think about it. Like if say Derek Carr is having a good season, right, and he decides to go to the Pro Bowl, like if he gets hurt, I know they're trying to protect the players. And some players opt out because of that, but it's taking that kind of like that aspect out of it. But it's like you're right. Over the years, the Pro Bowl has been kind of getting like two-hand touch and flag football, where it's like now they're protecting.
We don't even have it anymore.
They don't. They don't wear helmets. I think they wear bucket hats on the field. So, I mean, it's fun. They get mic'd up. Like Marlon Humphrey is very I think he had Ray Lewis on the mic last year, but. On that side, but it's like it has gotten boring. But I look at it from two sides. Like one side, you don't want to risk injury, especially if you're a quarterback. You know, if you're Herbert or Allen or Lamar or Mahomes, and you get hurt or Travis Kelce's in it. Like, so I get that. But then again, it's like as a fan watching it, it's kind of boring. The only thing I like about the NFLs is like the QB throwing competition. Like, say how you can hit the targets and stuff. That's pretty fun, but. Or the craziest catch or whatever. But, yeah, the MLBs, I wish they did more, like, with the All-Star. I know they had the Celebrity All-Star game, but all they have is the All-Star game and then the Home Run Derby. I think they just add a few more things, like, I don't know, the longest outfield catch. I don't know. Like, who can jump over
It's kind of tricky with baseball, I guess. But I see what you're saying. You know, maybe hardest pitch, but then you might be
asking like the fastest pitch, or something like that.
Like,
you don't want to risk them, like
you don't want them throwing out their shoulder.
Yeah, coming back to injury. So I mean, or maybe like for home, like for like an event, how high you can catch the ball, like in the outfield to like over the fence, like you know how high you can jump. You know how people jump in the outfield to catch the ball. So I wish they had more events like that. Other than the home run derby and the All-Star game.
But I will say this: All-Star game is very watchable compared to a lot of other All-Star games. And I'll say, like for the NBA All-Star game, up until they made the changes with the ELO rule, the scoring rule that they changed, I didn't watch it. I'm just like, I don't want to watch pickup basketball for 2.5 hours. It's not fun. I have other things I can do. The way they made the changes, it made me more intrigued. The first little while trying to understand how it worked. And now it's like, okay, now there's going to be some stakes. There's a good end to it. And that was really exciting. The MLB All-Star game is really fun to watch. It's good. It doesn't really seem to have any major drawbacks. People do seem to care and to play because it's just a game. It's one out of 162 games. And they usually sub people in every couple of innings. So I'd say, I don't know if it's the best, but at worst case, I'd say it's probably second. NBA is usually really good. The only thing is sometimes the dunk contest contestants aren't very good this past year. We kind of saw that where it's like, who are these guys? But when the dunk contest is at its best, it's and the skills contest is fun. But I'd say baseball's at least second. I don't think it can fall to third. I know hockey has one. I've never really watched it, but I'd say baseball's probably second.
The NBA, I can say the NBA. I feel like the NBA would be better if they had. Because I did talk. I think I heard them talking about them going back to the Eastern and what or USA versus the world. I think so having USA team then Joker and
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like
that would be the
Luka.
same every year.
I mean, it was
Right.
kind of boring watching the game this year. It's kind of boring. I ain't gonna lie.
It's-
Yeah, no, I feel you. None of
kinda
them
fell
are
asleep.
The
none of them are
players forced that,
fantastic.
though.
Yeah,
The players in the NBA did that to themselves because
Yeah,
they
I-
stopped caring about it.
Yeah,
Whereas, NHL, they score a lot of goals, but I think for that sport, it works because just seeing guys skating around, you see some skill between the legs type stuff, and those score goals. That's fine. I will give baseball credit. When it comes to the home run derby, all the stars want to be in it. It's just whether or not they're healthy enough to be there. That's usually what keeps out the big names.
it's never a player that's like, oh, I'm worried about doing the dunk contest and getting fatigued too much heading into the season.
Yeah.
No, I have a torn labrum and I can't, or I have a broken wrist and I can't. They want to be there. There's the prestige there for sure.
Yeah.
Great
So
point.
I think that does work in baseball's favor.
yeah.
Now, Jordan, you did say something interesting about something that they could do with the home run derby, do a little bit more.
yeah.
Maybe they need
I'm
to put
surprised
out
they don't-
targets or something.
yeah, something like
hit
that.
this,
Hit
counts
this.
for two
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah, that might be a way to do it.
As an MLB fan, I want to see more events other than the celebrity game. I don't even watch this. I don't even know when they broadcast that game. The celebrity. I know they have
I think they broadcast it on YouTube now.
on
It's
YouTube.
gotten that bad.
I know they have that Disney girl on there. I forget her name. She's the blondie.
She's there every year now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You're
Well,
talking.
you get my point. Other than the All-Star game, which is fun. It's fun. I just wish NBA has skill. They have skill. They got 3-point. They got, but there's more. They can do more with that because.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Just be creative. Put a target in the home run field, in the aspect and hit a target. Or, I don't know. Who can run the bases fast? I don't know.
I was about to say that would be something you could do, maybe fastest.
But
around
then
the
again, you might
bases.
tweak an ankle or whatever, or run over a base and tweak an ankle,
That's true.
pull
Or
a groin.
outfield
Not even just
accuracy, something
that
like
could
that.
be good.
Yeah,
Not even. What if we did
Yeah.
a stolen base competition? Because it's not just who can run the bases faster. Imagine you have a good catcher and a good leadoff guy. Because when you think for instance, when you think about dramatic stolen bases, think about the Red Sox and the Yankees back in 2004, and the drama that comes from when is he going to go, when is he going to pop off to make that run. Something like that could be fun too, where it's how many can you go before you get out 3 times? That could be fun.
So Anthony,
Yeah, I was gonna say that would bring ankle.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or pull a groin.
Yeah.
But
That's
I
I think the tricky part is with baseball. I guess that is a factor in everything. Because, like I said, even if you did outfield accuracy to see who could throw it to home plate from the outfield the most accurate, you'd worry would he put too much into the throw, hurt his arm. So yeah, that's the tricky part. Now I have heard some people talk about
even with the home run derby, you can
Go
even with the home run derby, you can pull
for sure.
something.
For
So
sure.
it's
True, that's true.
like
I
Aaron
have heard
Judge, he
some
can
people
do their
say-
obliques.
Yeah, I've heard some people say with the home run derby, they think maybe you should go with a pitching machine because I felt so bad for Garcia.
Yeah, his
His
pitcher,
BP pitcher was
was
the
booty,
worst.
man. He was
He was
booty.
throwing curveballs and sliders and stuff, and I was like, dude.
He was throwing mostly balls. He couldn't
Yeah.
even hit.
So
I like
that really
that
hurt him.
idea. I like
Yeah.
that idea. That way, there's consistency. We're taking out human error and any biases that could be there. I like that idea.
Yeah,
Or
it'd be
if
fair as well
Yeah.
because not everyone has the same pitcher.
Yep.
What's the commissioner's name? Paul Manfred or Bob Manfred?
Fred.
Manfred?
Yeah, Fred Manfred.
Really? That's his
Is it?
first
I
name.
think it's Fred.
I think it's Bob.
You might be right. The Manfred part, yeah, I know it's Manfred. We'll say
It's
Commissioner
Manfred, but
Yeah.
Commissioner Manfred.
Yeah.
I think it's Bob Manfred. You can check on that. My stat guy Jake.
I'm already. You're on. You know me well. I'm looking at it.
Yeah. So Commissioner Manfred. I mean, hey, man. I got some advice. Maybe
It's Rob. ROS. It's ROB.
Rob.
Rob,
Manfred.
okay.
Okay.
Rob, short for Robert.
Yeah, if Rob is listening to this podcast, man, maybe try to work something wrong with that pitch clock. Try to work that into some all-star event. I don't know how you can do that, but maybe kind of like incorporate that. I mean, we see it's working, like, in the season, like, cutting down the game. So maybe do an event where it's like this around the pitch clock or like the batting clock or whatever. But I guess that's home run derby, but you get like 20 seconds to do something or 15 seconds to do this, whatever.
Kind of interesting there. Well, I guess
they need to hire me as like a MLB like initiative event planner or something.
probably email Rob Manfred and tell him. I mean, if they work that in, maybe put up like a little grid of the strike zone, see if they can hit each of the 9 sections in the span of a pitch clock or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's opportunities there.
And but, plus, like, if we, something that the winner brings something or pays it to charity, so there's some charity or whatever that the winner gets to local community or whatever, make it innovative.
Yeah. So I guess we can move to the other topics. So I will say, I did see the video of the kid in the outfield who caught the liner from, I think, Guerrero off the face. Shout out to that kid for surviving that. Like, his eye was all, it was like black and blue this morning, but I remember seeing it live, and I think his glasses like came flying off, and he was laying there for a little bit. That's the one part maybe they might think about having those kids just run around out there. Because with the StatCast, like, some of these guys are hitting these pitches at like 115 miles an hour. No, if they're hitting a line drive at a kid that's like, 11, 12 years old.
I didn't even see that. What happened? Like, he was an outfielder?
Yeah, he was one of the kids in the outfield who would catch them if they come up short. But Vladdy hit like a dead line drive, and he put his glove up, but he missed it, and it hit off like right about there, and his eye was all closed up by the end of it. So, but the kids have fun doing it, so it'd be hard to take it away from them.
It reminds me of, like, I think the Orioles and Yankees were playing. I think that cameraman got hit too. So I think it was like a foul ball or something like that.
Those cameramen, they know what they're doing.
To be fair, I imagine that their parents have to sign a waiver and be like, "This is probably a possibility. Like, let them be aware. Like, these are MLB players. Like, you might get hit with something."
Yeah.
Yeah, Vladdy hits hard too. So I mean, that's.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go ahead. Get into NFL. So now people can say, "Hey, we talk baseball in here. We do it from time to time."
I don't mind talking baseball. Like, it's a slow season, so we can fit it in sometimes.
Yeah, I think especially now that we're getting into the second half.
Now it's getting close. More Dylan's kind of mocking me that Blue Jays are ahead of our Red Sox and Yankees. So.
Okay, blink. Red Sox might pass the Yankees. You'll be in last place.
I feel a little left out being not in the NL East for a fandom here. Like, you three are all NL East guys. I'm a Brewers fan, and it's just like,
I'm surprised they didn't add that dude Ellie. I know he came into the league a little late. Like, he got brought up to the league. He should have got in there, man. Ellie.
Yeah.
I know
he'll probably be a lock for next year with all the fans that he has. Yeah, they'll vote him in next year.
Yep,
for sure.
He's nice. He's real nice.
All right, so here we go. NFL topic. Everybody does their top 10 lists, top 10 quarterbacks and all that. I figured I'd switch it up just a little bit on you guys and say who will be the top 10 quarterbacks passing yards next season. So these would probably be the more prolific passers in the game. Now, I have, 5 guys up here, but you may not have any of them on your list. Well, obviously, you'd have a couple of them, but I don't want to influence anybody's list by putting like 10 guys up on here. So I'm interested to see who you guys have and where you have them, especially one name in particular, because Jordan's a fan of him. I want to see where everybody has him, but
I wonder who that player is.
Yeah, I do wonder.
Y'all should make y'all should have like a jar of and put it aside, like a glass jar, and put how many times I say Lamar Jackson, like the Lakers, and put it in a jar.
Well, at least now you have a reason to say it, because
I'm surprised. I was gonna say something. I was surprised he wasn't on this picture, man. On this graphic.
Trust me,
I think he did that on purpose. He did that.
I sure did. Yes.
Oh, good.
All right, so anybody want to go first with their list? I don't need how many yards you think they'll throw for. Just literally 1 to 10. How do you think the passing yards will play out this season? I mean, I can go first.
I mean, some of these like some of these players are on my list, so like I just don't have them in order. Like some these players are on my list, like there's some.
I figured these guys should be somewhere on your list. I'll go first just to
Yeah,
give you guys a reason to rip it apart or whatever. So I actually think Burrow will come first this year. I think, Mahomes has kind of been the number one guy. I know he was last year. I still think he might still put up 5,000 yards, but I feel like Burrow will probably slightly edge him out this year. So Burrow 1, I got Mahomes 2. I got Herbert 3rd, and I think the only thing that might hold Herbert back is his wide receiver's health. Now, luckily, they did draft Quentin Johnson, so there could be plenty of opportunities where he might just throw it up for him to go get it. So I got him 3. This might be a surprise at 4. I got Kirk Cousins. We know in the regular season he puts up a lot of yards. He's got Addison now, so I think he'll be up there again this year. I've got Josh Allen 5, although I'm kind of worried about that with him and Stephon Diggs' relationship, but I feel like they'll get that figured out by the start of the season. Would love to see them add maybe another wideout to the group, but I got Allen 5. I got Trevor Lawrence 6, and that's especially with Calvin Ridley coming back. Hopefully, he stays away from this gambling epidemic that's going around the league since he's already been popped for it, but hopefully he's on the field. I think that definitely will help out Lawrence this season. I've got Jalen Hurts at 7. Now, we know the Eagles like to run the ball as well, so I think that might cut down on his passing yards, but I definitely expect him to be in the top 10. Aaron Rodgers at 8. I got Tua at 9. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, come on. And then Geno Smith I have rounding it out.
Geno.
10th. He's got DK Metcalf. JSN's coming in. Got Taylor Lockett. So I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for him. They're another team that likes to run the ball as well. But I think Geno Smith will build on what he did last season and finish 10th in passing yards. And hold on. Anthony says, "Sir, you're naming players not on this list." This is just a graphic just to, mention some players. But we're doing our top 10 for passing yardage leaders. Don't step that coming at me again. Rodgers at 8. The Jets, come on, man. I'm just saying.
Rodgers had his worst year last year.
Well, I mean, I guess what Gregory's probably saying is with the Jets, you figure it's a better team around him than it was in Green Bay. So maybe Rodgers has a bounce-back season. I just think the guys ahead of him will just throw for more yards. Maybe Hurts might be a question, but then at that point, it's just between 7th and 8th, really. So, yeah, that's my list of 10. So I guess we can go with let's go Jake next.
All right, so I'll start with number 1. I think Justin Herbert's going to lead the league in passing. He's got a cannon arm. He's got a lot to prove. It's kind of a last year. The coach, it's last year for him if they don't do well. And I think he really wants to go and show that he's an elite quarterback. His stats have kind of stayed the same his whole career from his first year. Nothing really improves a ton. And I think he's a competitive dude. Everyone's now talking about Mahomes and Burrow, Allen, Hurts, and then it goes to Herbert. So I think he's going to come out guns blazing. And I have Joe Burrow second. It was really tough between these two dudes, between who I thought was going to be first and who I thought was going to be second. Joe Burrow is he's competitive. He's the man. He's got the energy just to bring this franchise up, and I think he really wants to show that he's the best quarterback in the league. And it's going to be hard to argue. I think no one has him ranked lower than 3rd. And I think he's going to have a great year. Mahomes is going to be 3rd just because he's great at what he does. I don't think anybody. And if he won it, I wouldn't be surprised. It's just hard to win back-to-back years. I have Josh Allen at 4th, and I don't love it. I think he's going to put up a lot of yards. It's kind of like he does have the Madden curse on him. That's a great point. I don't love the pick, but I just feel like there is enough talent that's there, and they're going to be throwing the ball a lot because they do throw the ball a lot. And they have Jalen Hurts at 5. I think he's the third best quarterback in the league if I were to rank them personally. I know they run the ball up, but they have fantastic weapons all over the field. He almost won the MVP, and I think he's going to come out blazing. I have Kirk Cousins at number 6, and he's not the 6th best quarterback in the league, but that defense is bad. They have a ton of wide receiver talent, so they're going to be throwing the ball a ton when they're behind to try and catch up. And I think that's just going to be a perfect recipe for him to throw for just a ton of yards. Last year, he was 4th in the league in passing yards. And no one's going to say he's the 4th best quarterback in the league, but he finished 4th last year in yards. He's going to get a lot of cheap plays. A lot of times they're playing behind. Have him at 6. I had 7th. I had Tua, and my only concern with him is just his health. That's the only reason I could see him dropping out potentially. But Tua's got all the weapons. He's been taking a lot of good care of his body. He's been taking lessons on how to get hit, how to fall, and try to prevent more injuries from happening. 8th, I have Rodgers. I'm just worried about his age. He had his worst career since his rookie year. He isn't one that's been taking care of his body like Tom Brady has. So we're kind of attuned to think, oh, quarterback as an age 38, 39, 40, they're just going to stay good. Brady was the outlier. And I think Rodgers is going to, I need to see it. And a new change, new city, new playbook. I just have him at 8th. At 9th, I have Trevor Lawrence. Again, great quarterback, great weapons. And I think the one I might catch a lot of flack on at 10th, and this is just a gut feeling, I think Kenny Pickett is going to surprise a lot of dudes and have a fantastic year. The Steelers always get good wide receivers. That's kind of what they're known for. They get wide receivers out there. His box score never looked great his rookie year, but if you watched him play the games, he's really good. He's really good at what he does. He's really good at making reads, making adjustments, and I think he's going to have a great second season. They have a really good roster. The coach, the Steelers always overperform when if you were always better than we think they're going to be. And I think Kenny Pickett's going to have a fantastic year. And I know there's some people I'm missing. Like you have Jared Goff, you have Matt Stafford, you have Lamar Jackson. But I'm just going to go on limb. Every time I watch Kenny Pickett, I think to myself, I wish the Saints had this dude. I wish they had him over Derek Carr with, contract age and everything. I just really like what I see from Kenny Pickett. And truth be told, like the Steelers are one of the teams I don't like watching. I've never been a fan of the Steelers, but I like Kenny Pickett.
Okay, that's an interesting list for sure. Especially Kenny Pickett at 10. So by the end of the season,
and I could be dead wrong, and he could be terrible.
Okay. All right, so Gregory came back and said he has Rodgers at 11.
Oh, my boy Greg. Oh, what's up, man?
Josh Allen has the Madden curse, and then
I wonder who Rod's team is in the NFL. I wonder who. He's talking Mac. Probably a Miami fan. Talking a lot of crap on Allen. Or he could be a New England Patriots fan. So Rob, if you're still in here, man, let me know what your team is, man.
Oh, there we go, Greg. Baker Mayfield at 9.
He's an OU boy all the way.
I don't feel so bad about my Kenny Pickett pick at 10 if we got Baker.
Rod,
that's a good point.
Rod brought up a name I completely forgot about. Deshaun Watson.
I have to see it before I believe it. I have to see him throw for more than 180 yards a game before I can have any confidence in him. It's a show me year.
So I got my list ready. Dylan, you want your?
Let's do it.
I mean, you know what?
Well, I was gonna do Anthony's list, and then you guys can go because Anthony put his list up.
Let's do it.
So he put Burrow, Mahomes, Josh Allen. He's got Rodgers at 4. Kirk Cousins, Hurts, Herbert,
Lamar. That's crazy.
Trevor Lawrence, Carr, and Geno. Okay. So Rod said Mayo Jones is my quarterback.
Oh, so Mac Jones. So all right, you got a Patriots fan, man.
Rod, my guy. All right. See, I had to fight hard not to put Mac Jones in the top 10, but
Good for you. Good, because we would have kicked you off the set.
Dylan, I mean, you can go, man. Say my list for the best, man. Say the best for last.
So my 1 and 2 are basically the same as Kyle's. I have Joe Burrow at 1, Patrick Mahomes at 2. I think these are very interchangeable easily. I do think Burrow he has the better weapons around him. Of course, Patrick Mahomes can literally go out there with probably toddlers and still get 5,000 yards somehow. But regardless with that, I think Joe Burrow is just going to have a great year this year. They're going to have a lot of eyes on him, especially in that playoff area. I think it's his time to really show out, and Joe Burrow likes pressure. He's shown out when pressure comes. So I really think he's going to have a great season. Jamar Chase is going to be healthy. T. Higgins is going to be healthy. They have great weapons around him, a better offensive line. I think this is going to be a really good year for Joe Burrow. Mahomes at 2. With that being said, yeah, he's just going to have a really good year as well. Like I said, you give Mahomes anything, and he's going to probably create an MVP season out of it. At 3, I have Josh Allen. Now, I'm not saying that the Bills are probably going to be a really good team or super great. Josh Allen has a lot of better weapons around him. Getting Dalton Kincaid, I think, is going to be very big in that pass game. Maybe a lot of his yards might be kind of like dead yards in a sense where it just looks good on paper, but maybe the Bills, fell short in the playoffs again or something like that. Or maybe he doesn't have the touchdowns to live up to it. But overall, I think Josh Allen is an exceptional passer. He's one of the best passers in the league. And him not being in the top 5, even top 3 in passing yards would be something that'd be not wild, but it's hard to make a list without him in it. And then at number 4 is my first surprise pick. I have Tua. I think he has great weapons around him as well, a bunch of speedsters. He's one of those guys that he could throw a 20-yard pass and they're going to turn it into 60, turn it into 80, turn it into a touchdown. Different things like that. I think he has a lot of different opportunities to create separation plays like that. A lot of his guys can separate and make their own space, and I think he's just going to have a great day in the passing offense. Now, he could have that risk of getting injured, of course. It's what we're all worried about. But hopefully in this universe, that's not going to happen. Hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully he's good. Hopefully whatever. I think he can be really good this year. He was playing really well before getting all those concussions. So hopefully if he has a good, healthy season, he has more time with Tyreek Hill, more time with all the other weapons around them, I think he can do something good. And then
yards
number
after
5,
catch is going to be huge for Tua. That's where he's going to get it.
Yep. And they have guys to do that for sure. Number 5, I have Jalen Hurts. Yep. Number 5, I have Jalen Hurts. Not much to be said. Great weapons around him. He's a very good passer. The Eagles are in a position to where they should probably be looked at as the number 1 team in the NFC again. He's going to have the stat line to back it up. Good quarterback, great mentality. I think Hurts will get it done. Number 6, I have Herbert. I don't disagree with anything you guys say. He's just one of those guys that I have to believe it to see it. Not saying that he can't pass like that. It's just the receiver health has been a problem, and that's not on him. He can get up to that number, but I'm just not going to bet that his receivers are going to be healthy. So just to make it easy, I'm just going to put him in that 5-6 range. Number 7, I have Aaron Rodgers. He has a lot of familiarity with getting Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb. They signed Mecole Hardman. They have good receivers, good weapons around him. And Aaron Rodgers is a great passer. I mean, a 2-time MVP not that long ago. I think he'll have a great time. Gene is always hyping up Garrett Wilson, saying he's going to be the best receiver in the league this year, most receiving yards at least. I think he's going to be really good this year as well, too. I could see him getting around 1,400 yards. And if one of your receivers probably has 1,500 yards, you're probably up there in passing yards yourself. Number 8, I'm surprised this name hasn't been said because this is usually more of one of the pass happier teams. Dak Prescott. He has weapons around him. Like I said, this is a very pass first team. Great offensive line. They're probably not going to be leaning towards the run game as much as they normally were in that Ezekiel Elliott days. I know that's not what they were going for closer to the end of his tenure, but this team passes a lot. Dak Prescott's going to pass the ball a lot. He did before getting hurt, and he still probably is now. So he's someone I could just think getting a lot of those dead yards. Cowboys were probably going to be decent, I imagine. And number 9, I have Trevor Lawrence. All the reasons being said, he did really good with Christian Kirk, Zay Flowers, and now they're adding Calvin Ridley. And if all the camps and all the rumors from training camps and mini camps are true, he's really good. He was really good when he played on the Falcons. So if they can get potentially another 1,000-yard receiver in that room, and Christian Kirk was an 1,000-yard receiver, I imagine Trevor Lawrence is probably going to have a pretty good time in the passing attack. And then number 10, I have Kirk Cousins. He was 4th in passing yards last year. He's going to have Jordan Addison now on that weapon, on that offensive front. They have TJ Hawkinson there, who will be playing a full season with Kirk Cousins. They still have Justin Jefferson, who's arguably the best receiver in the league. I'm not sure if you guys have him at number 1, but he's probably 1 or 2. So, Kirk Cousins is a good passer as well. So I think him at 10 isn't too crazy. He could be a lot higher. I mean, I saw him at 4, and that's not crazy because he's already done it.
Okay.
Empty
catch
yards
some comments.
for him.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good
Catch on
call
some
on Dak
comments before
Prescott,
Jordan
too.
goes. So Brett said Jordan Love top 10. I can only dream. That's very true.
Sam Laporta. Oh, no, not Sam Laporta. Who's your tight end you drafted? Which one of them? Luke Musgrave season. There you go.
Yes, Musgrave. This one's perfect for Jordan. Where's Lamar gonna fall?
Don't worry, he's about to be number 1 on the next list. He's about to be number 1 on the next
I'm
list.
surprised I don't have him on your list, but I mean,
I have a reason for him not being on my list.
I mean,
yes.
Brett said Jalen Hurts. Enough said, and then he said Rodgers. Thumbs down. That's been the theme. He's not a fan of Rodgers in the top 10.
He isn't a fan of Rodgers.
All right, Jordan. The floor is yours.
Are y'all done yet? Like, dude. All right.
Yeah, we know Lamar 1, Lamar 2, Lamar 3, Lamar 4.
Didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
I'm
gonna have y'all shocked. Actually, I do have Lamar on my list, but he's not number 1.
Oh man!
Before I go, I'm just gonna base this list off of last year. So Mahomes, he led with 5,250 yards. Herbert had 4,739 yards. Brady, who's out of the league, this year, 4,694 yards. So, and Cousins came in 4th last year. So, I'm basing this off my list. This list off of last year's list. So, at number 1, I have Mahomes. 2, I have Burrow. 3, I have Cousins moving up into that 3rd spot because of Addison and Jefferson. And I mean, yes, he doesn't show up in big moments and big games, but he has a young star in Addison, a top receiver in still Jefferson. I think he can get it done. Lamar, I have 4. Because I'm gonna tell you why. Because I think that obviously I don't know what Tom Munkin can. We haven't seen Tom Munkin on the Ravens, yet. But as far as the Ravens players are saying, I think Zietler, the guard today, said that our offense we're fast, attack. So Lamar's looking good. He has OBJ. If you get a healthy Bateman and a healthy, and his Zay Flowers, if they can all stay healthy, that can be a dangerous tandem. Barnes injury,
because I think Lamar was like 20. Well, he didn't play the whole season, of course, but I think Lamar was not in the 20s last season.
Yeah, I think he had like 2,000 something passing yards. Like because he missed half the season. I just think that like with this pro style offense and what he brings to the table with Munkin, and he still has Andrews, one of the top tight ends in the league. I think Lamar's at 4 with that offense. Coming in at 5, right behind him is Herbert. I got 6 Rodgers, 7 Allen, which he was 7 last year on passing list. So he stays there. I got Tua at number 9, question mark, because of health. But he has Waddle, he has Tyreek Hill. So has those pieces. And then 10, I'm gonna give credit to Dylan here. I'm gonna put Geno Smith because he has DK Metcalf, Lockett, and Smith Nick Jigma. So and he started off good last year and he kind of didn't really fall off, but he kind of got forgotten. Geno Smith, I think he's gonna have a good year at 10. So I think I was gonna put Kenny Pickett. But like Jake said about the Steelers take, like other than getting like George Pickens, like in like some, I don't know any of the receivers. Like I don't think they did much in the receiver room this year, like in the offseason. And I don't.
Well, they have
Allen Robinson.
They have Deontay Johnson still.
Yeah, they have Deontay Johnson. They have Allen Robinson.
They have Allen Robinson. Oh, I didn't know they added him. Oh, okay.
Yeah. They still have Pat Freiermuth. They drafted Darnell Washington. He's like 6'8", 6'7",
6'8",
260. Yeah, he's a receiver.
Tight end out of Georgia, but he'll probably be a tight end. But yeah.
I didn't see them make any move. I know they got Joy Porter Jr. right? The cornerback.
That's who they got in the draft. Yeah, they got Allen Robinson.
They made some low key moves I wasn't aware of, but I was gonna put Pickett in at number 10, but I'm gonna go with Geno. I think Geno has a better upside than Pickett. I know Pickett's young, but with that court Metcalf, Smith, Nick Jigma, and Lockett. That's a trouble. That's a three-headed snake right there. So, I mean, I don't know. Do y'all think Lamar's in that?
Champs right there.
Do you think that like Lamar's in that right? Isn't that fourth spot? Y'all agree with that?
I mean, I could see it be possible, but you just have to have a lot from Odell, which I'm not sure how much you're going to get out of him. Like you could get 10 games out of him, but
right.
I'm not sure you're getting a full 17 game season out of Odell.
Brett, it's all good, man. Much love, man. That's funny.
Bateman, he's someone that I really like. I liked Bateman coming out of college. I thought he was really good out of Minnesota. He was like my wide receiver 1 in that class, but he's been injured. He's one of those situations that I have to believe it to see it. Could he get 1,000 yards? Yeah, but as we have any signs to point that he could get 1,000 yards right now, probably not.
I think
Zay Flowers is interesting. Yeah. I really like Zay Flowers as well. He definitely bulked up in the offseason, very quick. He definitely seems like he's been working out with a lot of like even Lamar and just other Ravens receivers, so that's really nice getting in there. You didn't mention Mark Andrews. I don't know why you didn't. Mark Andrews.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
he did. Okay,
he did.
I didn't hear it, but I was about to say
man,
you have Mark
Andrews. My boy, man.
Mark Andrews, really good. I'm not. Yeah. I don't trust in Devin Duvernay.
And Leakley too. He's an underrated tight end too. So
I don't trust in Devin Duvernay that much to be one of those big receiving threats. And then
he's more like a special teams guy.
Yeah. And then I've heard rumors that they're using their running backs more in the pass attack, but they never used them in the first place. So using them now is going to be something. So Dobbins could definitely. He was not a bad receiving back at Ohio State. He definitely can be a good receiving threat in that backfield. So it's possible. 4 is a very high goal, but he being in the top 5 isn't too crazy.
I mean, the reason I have him at 4 is because I mean, like Jory said, and I think Kyle has said, and probably all you have said that. I mean, Lamar got paid. I mean, he has gotten the weapons that he wants, other than because I know he wanted D-Hop and Beckham, but he got Beckham. So he has the receivers. He got a new coordinator. This is like people are saying this is like another MVP season, man. People can stay healthy. So I think that if Bateman, Zay Flowers can live up to the hype, Odell Beckham does his thing, Andrews does his thing. Still, I'm not gonna really lose faith in Andrews because he's been our top kind of receiver since he's been in the league. I just think that this is like Lamar's prove it year. Like, I got the money, I got the talent on the receiving room, I got the corner. We got Greg Roman out of here, Todd Monken coming in here.
So Anthony says he put Russell Wilson ahead of Lamar.
That's wild.
I need to see it before with Russell Wilson. I need to see it. I know Sean
I think Anthony he's trolling, but
he might be. Like, Russell Wilson could be that dude because Russell Wilson when he's there. But I have to see it. And for me, just as far as your let him cook, let him burn. For Jordan, as far as why I left Lamar off of the top 10 list for me, you look back at Lamar's best season that he had, it was 3,100 passing yards.
Yeah.
The top 10 last year was like 3,700 yards was what Jalen Hurts had. Jalen Hurts was 10th in passing yards, and Lamar's best year was 3,100. So that's a big. There is a gap there because so much of what you get from Lamar Jackson is from his running, right? You get him a lot of there, and then you also have to worry. Even though Lamar he has his money, he's going to miss a game.
No, but but they're saying that with this offense, they're gonna try to make the offense more pass happy.
But I find that hard to believe because Georgia,
everyone's going to say whatever.
Running games.
Say whatever. We got to see it happen first.
Georgia likes to have a balance in their offense, so I find it hard that all of a sudden he's going to turn to this pass happy offense.
You have the best running quarterback, arguably the best running quarterback of all time. You think they're going to be more pass happy?
I mean, why would they get the weapons if they don't think it's gonna?
They got a weapon, Odell Beckham, who is a wide receiver one. You didn't have a wide receiver. Okay, he's 5'9".
He's still a deep bet receiver.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not like the Ravens have the wide receiver room that the Bengals had. You're talking like the Ravens have the skill positions that the Bengals have.
I mean,
and they don't.
If you gave Lamar Jackson, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase, I would probably be like, that.
I could see
possible.
that.
Yeah.
So the point being, we have to worry about his injury game because he's never played a full 16 or 17 games. His highest season was 3,200 yards, and a lot of that came. That was the year he won the MVP. He had all those rushing yards, so we get it. We're not trying to knock on your guy. It's just top 10 is hard. There's a lot of really good quarterbacks in the league, and what your guy brings to the table takes away from his passing yards. And I think Dylan said it best. We have to see it from to be a guy that's going to throw for 300 yards game in, game out. I just need to see it. Same with Russell Wilson. Why I don't have him on the list. I need to see him bounce back before I'm going to put him.
Not get the whole
on this
Sean
list.
Payton move. That's not gonna. I mean, obviously he's gonna maybe push him to another level. But I think we've seen the best of Russell Wilson.
I would take the Broncos receiver room over the Ravens receiver room.
Jerry Jeudy,
Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler, Marvin Mims, Tim
There's
Patrick.
good talent. There's good talent there. You have with OBJ, you have to worry about his availability because he's had 2 knee surgeries and he's older. You have to worry about his availability.
I mean, yeah, because like you guys said, it's not like Lamar's not going to put up passing numbers. Yes.
Yeah.
I still think they're going to be big on the running game as well. We might see Lamar be, a play action type of guy or quick slants. But there's still going to be a running element to that team because they have Lamar who's going to run. You got Dobbins who's a pretty good runner when he's on the field. So even if he does have an MVP type of season, maybe that looks like 3,500 passing, like 1,000 running or whatever. I just don't know if that's top 10. Like he was just outside of my top 10. Lamar, Russell Wilson, guys like that. Could they push it to the top 10 by the end of the season? Sure, but I think they'd be probably in the bottom, like 8, 9, 10 somewhere.
And to be fair, Jordan, this isn't a ranking of top 10 quarterbacks 1 through 10.
Top passing. I just think that we have a new player, pro style. Lamar playing at Louisville.
We got to see it.
Where he ran for a lot of touchdowns and was a great rushing quarterback. That's why he got like all of his like running back mantra nicknames is because he ran the ball a lot in college.
Yeah, I mean, what Harbaugh's saying and what's what Muckin has been saying lately is just we're gonna try not to limit.
They're gonna feed the birds breadcrumbs.
I mean, I have Lamar at 4. Y'all saying y'all acting like I have him at 1.
No, you asked. Look. But you asked how come we didn't have him on our list. I was just telling you. I still think they're going to run the ball.
So tell us. So go back to that list of last year. How many yards did number 4 get last year?
So 4,
47.
So 4. Kirk Cousins had
4,547 yards.
You think Lamar can get up in that range? Because I know
that's an extra 1,500 yards than his career best.
Well, last year he had 2,000 passing yards, something like that. So,
yeah, in 12 games. Do you think 5 games he's going to add in 1,500 yards?
If he played the other half of the season.
It's not a half.
So you're saying if he played 5 games. If he played 5 more games, he was going to get 2,500 more yards. He was going to average 500 yards a game.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he has the weapons to.
A little bit.
Oh my God, man.
Okay, look. I'm going to bring out some stats. And again, Jordan, we're not hating on Lamar. It's just that if you're going to have your boy up this high, we're going to put some pushback.
This is going to next season, not last season. This is going to next season.
We have to go with the data that we have. And so Lamar's MVP season.
Mercy.
Look, Lamar, this is going to blow your mind. I want everyone, Lamar's MVP season, his career best in passing yards, we had 3,100 yards. Everyone will want to take a guess. Where do you think he ranked 1 through whatever as far as where he ranked in the passing yards?
That was 17.
His MVP season.
17.
3,100 yards. Yeah, that's probably about 21.
Jordan, you got to guess where he ranked?
Huh? Oh, wait,
Dude, I'm going to throw these stats in your face. You got to pay attention,
I was looking at the comments. Brad was breaking news. I'm like, holy crap.
No, so Lamar Jackson, his MVP year, his best year, he had 3,100 yards. Where do you think that ranked that season among the passing leaders?
Not cracking the top 10, maybe 12, 15?
23rd.
Okay.
His best season, he ranked 23rd in passing yards. So, and again, that was his MVP year that he 100% deserved. None of us are going to try and say Lamar Jackson didn't deserve the MVP. We're saying based on his play style and what he does best, he's not going to be a guy that's going to throw for 4,500 yards. He's built this way, and he's great at what he does. It's just he's not going to be the fourth or fifth
Thank
best
you, Adam.
top guy.
Thank you, Adam. Shit. Thank you, Adam. Lamar
Adam's actually making our point that he runs so much. That's why he doesn't have.
But now he has the weapons.
But he's still going to run.
Yeah, when he can. But I mean,
how many games is OBJ going to play?
I'm saying like you're so for Lamar to get 2,500 more yards, that you're taking away probably some production elsewhere, and that feels like a lot of rushing you're taking away from Lamar if he's going to pass for 25.
A lot of what makes him special.
Well, I mean, why are they like the question? I know it's like not like Ravens talk. We have other topics to talk about, but like, why would they bring in Tom Monken knowing that it's a pro style?
Because you watch Georgia's offense.
Okay, and with that being said, they can
like they see Lamar has an arm. So why?
Okay, he can pass for a little more. He can maybe hit 3,500. He can maybe hit 3,600. Maybe he could crack that top 10. But to say he's going to be somewhere around.
I'm not saying he's gonna. I'm saying what the Ravens are saying. Their goal is to not.
But you're using that to make your point. You're using that to make your point on why he would make it that high.
I mean, I have him at 4 because of the Tom Monken.
You could have him at 4, but we're going to tell you why he's not at 4.
Well, y'all had your quarterback list. That's my quarterback list.
I'll just tell you, I watched a lot of Georgia football, and most people know Georgia for their running backs, not their quarterbacks.
Yeah. So name how many outside of like George Pickens, because he's probably the most notable name. How many Georgia receivers do you know? Because I can name a lot of Georgia running backs.
No, I'm saying that like, I mean, Monken hasn't. He's been in the NFL before. He was on the Browns. He helped Baker Mayfield lead the league in passing yards.
Baker Mayfield's
not Lamar Jackson. They're different quarterbacks.
But I'm saying he can.
He gave a shotgun throwing quarterback who dueled Patrick Mahomes with like 600 passing yards in one game in college. Did Lamar ever have 600 passing yards in a game in college? I don't think.
I don't know.
Probably not.
I think he had a pretty good. I'm going to throw another stat out here just because I'm the stat guy. Jordan, you kept saying that if Lamar had played all these seasons, he would have been a top 10 guy. Well, no, I'm serious. If he would have played all 17 games, he'd been a top 10 guy, right? Do you know how many yards he would have if he would have played all 17 games and assuming his per yards just kind of carried over? Do you know how many yards he would have passed for? 3,162, like 20 yards more than his career high. That's where he would have been, and he would have been. I don't know, 17th, 18th?
That's the MVP year?
Yeah, his best year was the 3,100. And then if this year, based off of his average of like 186 yards a game, if you played all 17, it'd be 3,162 yards. It's kind of what he is, but he's still a great player. Again, this isn't a top 10 quarterback list. This is a top 10 passing list. This is why we have like Dylan has Dak Prescott on there. This is why we have Kirk Cousins. There's no universe where anyone is going to say Kirk Cousins is better than Lamar Jackson. But we know what Kirk Cousins does. He has empty yards. So we're not trying to hurt your feelings. It's just this is who he is. He's great. He's going to get 3,200 passing yards probably and like 800 rushing yards. That's 4,000 total yards of offense, and that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Brett,
like if this was a total yardage conversation, like having Lamar up that high wouldn't be anything that would be out of the world. But this is passing yards, not total yardage. Total yardage, I could see
in 60 put. And appreciate you tuning in because I believe you're new to the.
This guy's got the same stat line.
Yes,
he's got 3,300 passing, 800 rushing for Lamar. That's his prediction for his stat line. No, it's not out of the.
No, that's totally feasible.
Oh no,
totally
Brad, I did finish my list. I just was talking about it.
You know who's over Lamar in passing? Daniel Jones. Well, I took into account. Freddie said Daniel Jones is going to run for 1,400. That's going to take away from some.
I'm not going to let Freddie live that down for the rest of my life. Man, that was the most ridiculous take I've ever heard.
Yeah. For the new people in here, like Freddie Henderson, Dr. Freddie said that Daniel Jones is better than Lamar, and he's going to throw or rush for 1,400 yards. So.
Yeah, I mean, I know he didn't believe that, but it was hilarious that he really threw that out there.
Sports
And-
News
look-
160. Yeah.
60, great
Look,
show, guys.
again, I just before we move on to the next subject, Jordan, I like Lamar Jackson. I like your dude. I'm glad he stayed in Baltimore. I think he's going to have a really good year. I think he's going to have some of his best passing stuff because of the changes. It's just a lot. That's a huge change to go from 3,100 yards to like the 4,500 yard range like you're proposing. And that's the only reason why we're giving you this crap is because that's a huge change. That's going from averaging 190 to like
I'm saying,
240
Lamar has
yards
a
a
lot
game.
of well,
That's
I know
a
he had
lot. That's a
he had
big
like a
change.
five-year contract, but I mean, this is his year, like to prove everyone wrong.
To be
man.
fair, is there any quarterback who's really made a jump that high in passing yards from a year-to-year basis?
The only person I could think of is, and I could look this up, is Jared Goff. Let me actually look that
I
up.
did
Because Goff was a top 10 guy
Goff
this
would be
year,
an
but
interesting one.
I put golf. I think I put golf on. Yeah, I had him at 8.
let me
I
pull
didn't
Jared
have
Goff
Goff
up
on
real
my
quick here.
list. I'm in Ross St. Brown school, but who else?
Jordan, who
is
you
there?
think going to be number 1 receiver this year?
I would say save that. That's for another week.
Oh
Gotta leave
man, I
him
was
more.
gonna answer
So even with Jared
Come on,
Goff,
Kyle,
like,
answer that, man.
Jared
You know
Goff,
what, Anthony? It's me, man. I'm the number 1 receiver.
so Jared Goff
1,800
did
passing yard, or-
have a big jump. He did. He went up
Mhm.
like, what was it? Where'd the number go? He went from 3,200 yards in 2021 to 4,400 yards. So that's like a 1,200 yard range. But he had thrown in the past for like 38, 46, 46, 3,900 yards. So he's been in that vicinity before. It's just that 2021 he had a drop off in his production. And he didn't play as many games. Last year he played in all 17. So even then, a jump that we're seeing of this magnitude would be really rare to go up 2,000, 15 or 1,500 yards from what we've seen from a guy. And again, we have to take into account he's probably going to miss 1 or 2 games just because he's going to get dinged up from his play style. But
that's why
again,
I think
no dock on him. I'd trade your quarterback situation for mine in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's why I think that like to risk it. I know Lamar's going to run. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I think that's the reason why his number's going to go up, because to take away the injury part. Because if you think about it, Lamar hasn't really been hurt inside the pocket. I think his first one was like a hip injury, I think, and the second one was like a PCL. Running out of the pocket, getting chased down outside the pocket. So I feel like, if they beat out their O-line,
Yeah, I
Monken, to prevent the injury, make him pass more. Because obviously, when he ages, the running is not going to be there, so he's going to have to play with his arm. So they want to get him.
Here's my counter to that.
Oh, you all got to counter.
If you just have Lamar dropping back in the pocket more often, that opens him up to injuries now within the pocket as well.
But then
because that means if they, I don't know the Ravens schedule. I'm sure you probably do, but it's like if they're going against the Rams, Aaron Donald, that's a hit he might take, might not get up from. Which is why I think Monken is still going to run the ball. That's going to take some pressure off of Lamar. He's still going to run a lot of RPO, and with a lot of those plays, there's a good chance Lamar's going to take off as well. So is the opportunity there for him to throw more? Yes. I just don't know if it's going to be like incrementally to the point where he just sets the world on fire or something. So we'll see. It could happen, and maybe we look back at this episode and go, I guess Jordan was onto something.
You know what? We'll give you your flowers if you're right. We'll put it that way. If he finishes 4th, we'll give you your flowers.
Give me $50 each.
I'm not giving you no money, so I'll admit when I'm wrong. Hey, who was the first person that admitted he was wrong when Lamar went back to the Ravens on the show? It was me. So I'll tell when I'm wrong.
See, I was right about that, so I'm one for I'm one for one, baby.
Even if you were wrong about that, you'd have been right somehow. You'd have been like, he wanted to come back, but Baltimore just didn't bring him back. It's all good. I mean, we gave you credit for that. Yes, Lamar coming back.
Yeah, we can go on to the next topic.
So we're going to NBA now.
Wait, I mean, should we talk about the new rule? They just updated the new rule changes. I think the flop rule they got.
I'll believe that when I see that as well.
No.
I know.
No, Shane reported it.
Yeah.
In 2020, the board of the governors were approved for the season. So And second coach's challenge awarded is first. So basically, the NFL. If you
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Which
we
it
got to
always
see
should have
for the
been.
flopping. We have to
That's
see it actually take into effect. We need to
Yes.
see the referees
I
enforce
thought
it.
they did it in summer league. It happened in summer league. But
That's my whole thing with flopping. There's an easy way to get out of the league. The referees have that ability. They just don't do it because
they're
to
saying
them they
Harden's
think it's
career
a
is
judgment
over.
call and all this kind of stuff. But it's like, if a guy is clearly embellishing something,
Yeah.
give him a tech. But they don't do that, and it just gets worse and worse each year. So hopefully this new tech thing curbs it a little bit, but it's still going to be on the referees to really get these guys to stop flopping as much as they do.
Yep, and until it happens, and especially with the stars, especially with the top guys, until it happens,
Right.
I'm not going to believe it. Do
That's
I
a
want
hard
to see
thing,
it?
dude.
Absolutely, but I'm not going to buy it until I buy into it until I see it.
Yeah, that's one of the toughest things of the refs. Like, how do you know someone's flopping like
It's
live?
not that
You know,
tough. It's not that tough. The toughest thing they have to figure out is like block charge.
That's tough.
Flopping, they have a good idea.
Yep.
They just don't want to, put somebody out there like that and make it seem like it's an obvious flop. But we'll see.
Watch LeBron on defense, or you watch LeBron get hacked or something, and you'll know what flopping is. And I love LeBron, but he definitely embellishes everything.
James Harden when he dribbles and throws his head back, like we know it when we see it.
Yeah. Yep.
well, yeah, that's obvious. But I'm talking about like, if you're going at me with elbow and like I kind of like you fly live,
You'll be able to see if you'll be make contact. They'll be able to look at it.
Yeah, Marcus Smart, you're gonna be flying,
Hey, you're talking about the heart and soul that the Celtics lost, okay?
Oh, yeah, but
I'm so over that narrative.
The little SpongeBob violin.
I'm not getting onto that one today. I see that every day, and I'm this close to losing it on somebody
Marcus
on
Smart,
Twitter.
bro, send himself flying. Brett
Because
has
the refs
Brett is
allowed.
going. Brett's going for everyone today, man. What's going on with you,
Yeah,
Brett?
but I don't disagree with Brett. The
Yeah,
refs
Brett.
let him do it. He tries it. Sometimes
Yeah.
they don't give him the foul, and then he stops doing it. All right, so let's go to the next one. I mean, this one we don't have to spend a lot of time on because I think most of us probably have the same answer to this, but the NBA free agency's basically almost done. But we've seen a lot of money get thrown around. So very quickly, what is the one deal from this free agency period that surprised you, whether it's length of the contract or the money in general? Which player got a deal that you were literally shocked when you saw it come across ESPN or read it on a website or something?
Well, one that I say, that will shock me. I'll just start off with that one. Is the Fred VanVleet deal. I love Fred VanVleet, Wichita State.
Mhm.
But overall, like that contract was wild. $43 million. Like 43, like he's getting paid more than Kyrie Irving. Now, I know the Rockets had to spend big. I know it gets to a point where like you have to spend some money rather than just keep it. And they were poised to make some big splashes. But man, $43 million a year for a team that did make some good moves, but you're going to be stuck with him for a little bit now. And I'm not sure if this roster is championship ready. They have a lot of young pieces, and they need to hope they can make the progression. But even still, I don't think they're going to win a championship in year one of VanVleet, or even maybe year two of VanVleet.
So I have a great comeback for that because I actually really like the Fred VanVleet signing. I think he's the perfect guy for what Houston wants and what they need to win. Because right now, Houston has a losing culture. The guys that are in the locker room right now are young, they're talented, but they don't know how to win, and they don't really know how to play together. It's all on offense. It's me first, me go, then you go. They all just take turns with ISO. Fred VanVleet is a guy that he's respected, universally loved. He's a pass-first point guard. He can be a locker room leader. He can go in and teach people how to play as a team, teach people how to play together, how to control the flow of the basketball, and be like, hey, this is how we're going to run the floor so these guys can learn and they can grow. The Rockets signed him to change the locker room vibe, give locker room leadership, and develop the young dudes. Their goal, my opinion, is they're going to be ready to contend when during his last season on that contract. So in 3 years from now, they're going to be ready to contend. They can use him as an expiring contract in a trade, and the salary cap will have jumped up by then, so it won't be quite as bad. I get it. It's a lot of money. Is Fred VanVleet worth $40 some odd million? No, he's not. Is he what Houston needs? Yes. Did they overpay? Sure. But I like this, and I hate the Rockets. As a Jazz fan, I hate the Rockets. But it was a smart move because I think it's going to fix the locker room and teach these young guys how to play. Because again, like you said, Dylan, they had to spend the money, and why not spend it on someone that's going to help the young dudes? The one thing, I'll just go for my surprise deal at staying with Houston, is Dylan Brooks. He got I think it was 4 years, $80 million. Everything I just said and raved about the Rockets signing Fred VanVleet, I'll say the exact opposite about Dylan Brooks. Like,
One
what
step
the
forward,
hell?
2 steps back.
Yeah, what are you doing signing Dylan Brooks when you have this young locker room, this young core that's impressionable, and you bring in this dude who talks all this crap, talks all like he's Dennis Rodman or Ron Artest, but can't back it up. The Memphis Grizzlies were like, no, we're there's no way he's coming back to our team, and they have their own issues. Like, why would you bring him in? 1 and 2, 4 years, $80 million? Like, no, that was the one when I saw it, I was like, man, that's bad. I don't like that at all. And then the other one I'll say that surprised me was Kyrie Irving. I knew he was going to go back to Dallas. It's just I didn't love the signing. It's 3 years, it's a lot of money, and I just wonder, like, who was Dallas competing with to sign him? Like, who's going to be offering that 40 plus million for 3 years? You go through the free agency list, and the people that want Kyrie, it's not really out there. And 3 years is scary. For me, I will do like a 1-and-1, do 1 year deal, because with Kyrie, you have to keep him on a short leash, because before you know, you just don't know what he's going to do. You don't know how he's going to sabotage a team. And since he hit the big shot with the Cavaliers in 2016, which was like 6 or 7 years ago, he's just been bad stop after bad stop after bad stop. And I don't love that they're locked into 3 years at that price with him.
All right. So
Also,
before
one more surprising signing,
Yes.
Jeremy Grant.
Yeah.
He got a lot of money. Didn't expect that.
He did.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too. Yes.
So before Jordan gives his surprise, I literally just saw something. I probably should double check this, but apparently the Raptors and the Hawks are about to make a trade for Siakam.
Whoa!
Oh, okay.
And
Keep DeJounte Murray. Keep DeJounte Murray. Keep DeJounte Murray.
it looks like
keep
it's
Trae Young.
DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah, I
Clint
heard about
Capella,
that.
and some draft capital going to Toronto.
Okay.
Okay,
I like that deal.
that's
I
interesting.
like that
so
for
what's that
Atlanta.
lineup? So it's that lineup: Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, AJ Griffin, or Bogdanovich, whoever you play in that 3 spot. Pascal Siakam and Yeka Okongwu. I don't hate it.
That's a good. You know what? And it's funny. I like it. What Toronto's getting back to, like, they get some stuff they can work with. They had some good draft, a good free agency.
They'll probably trade Capella again.
They probably will, but I mean, that's a deal where it's like it makes sense for both teams. I like that for Atlanta though a lot. That's really going to help your team.
I like DeAndre Hunter. I really liked his defense. He was like one of my favorite players on that team, but he was very inconsistent offensively.
Yep.
He was just good, but like he was never great. Like he would do some things and show some flashes, but then he would just play really bad, and it just didn't seem like he fit there. So hopefully going to Toronto will be good. That Toronto team's going to have a very interesting young core. They're starting to build something like interesting there. DeAndre Hunter, Scotty Barnes, you have OG Anunoby. That's going to be a very like defensively sound team there.
Like I said, yeah. So looks like that's what they're working towards. So I just threw that out there. It hasn't happened or anything yet, so that's something maybe by the time we get back next week, maybe that's a deal that actually happens, and we talk a little bit more about it. But Jordan, who's your surprise?
My
signing?
surprise was I thought this dude was going to Taiwan, man. Dylan Brooks.
I told you he was going to be in the NBA. Like, let's be real about it.
But listen, I think he got overpaid.
Yeah.
4 years. Well, it was originally on July 1st was 80-something million over 4 years. Now it's around like 86 million over 4 years. So it goes 20 million. So 20 million per year season. So it goes 21.6 million in 2023, 20.5 million in 2024, 2025 season. In 2025, he gets 19 million in 18. I don't know. He's a good defender. He can give you some shooting. Definitely, kind of. I guess you call him a veteran in the locker room, but definitely a player. He was overpaid, I think. Especially since he was like he was like a villain in the locker room in Memphis. People were kind of like they didn't want him they didn't want him there, but maybe he'll fit with Ime Udoka. His coaching
Scapegoated him in
scheme.
Memphis. They scapegoated him in Memphis. The real problem in Memphis is Mr. NBA youngboy John Morant. That's the problem. They got to get him to stay off of IG Live.
Sure.
Dylan Brooks,
But-
I think you could deal with it if he did not
Gotta get him
shy
some
away
better
from
PR
the
training.
pressure. Yeah,
Like, get a
that's the
spray
only,
bottle for Dylan Brooks. Like, shut up.
No.
That's
Don't
yeah,
do
that's
that.
that's the only issue with Dylan Brooks.
It's like, you're not better than LeBron.
Can I just say one other surprise before I hear Kyle's, before I forget, because I know I'll forget if I don't put in here. Eric Gordon signing for like $3 million for the Suns is ridiculous. And I think a lot of that has to do
Eric Gordon,
with
okay.
with the tax cuts that we're seeing, or the tax implications for the new CBA, where he was going to cost a fortune for the Clippers, so they just waived him, and then the Suns go and they sign him for like $3 million. It's like, I know he's old, but he's better than he's worth more than $3 million, and that surprised me a ton. But go ahead, I want to hear Kyle's take.
Well, I mean, you guys have already said it, and the chat said it. It's the Jeremy Grant. When I saw 5/160, I had to refresh the page a couple of times, and I was like, "There's no way he got that." Now, I guess maybe for Portland's aspect in this, they assume that he's going to continue to get better and become maybe not necessarily the 3 option, which he was last year, but a guy who could be a number 2. Although with that kind of money, you might think he might have to be a number 1 option at some point with Portland.
Yeah.
But just looking at the way that their offseason is going, it's like all this money for Grant, but you're moving out Dame. Dame wanted you to re-sign Grant, but now Dame wants to go, and it's just like, did Portland just overpay Grant to make sure he stayed there because they wanted to appease Damian Lillard, who now all of a sudden wants out? And that's the part, like, I just don't.
He was probably, he probably just said that to get his boy money. He was probably like, I ain't staying, but like, you can get you a bag if you want to stay.
Cool said Bruce Brown was shocking.
Yeah.
Just the amount he got was
I thought he
lot.
was resign with Denver, but
I didn't
No,
think
man,
he was going to
he
resign
got-
with Denver.
He got his ring and he wants to get his money. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And
like,
he realizes
wasn't making...
his value's never going to be higher because not only did he win a ring, but he looks so good with Jokic because everybody looks so good with Jokic. He's like, I'm going to capitalize and get this bag. And is it surprising? Yeah. And are his stats going to go down? Yeah. But it's just kind of what it is. It's just to bring in free agents, you almost have to pay like an extra 50% of what they're really worth just based off of today's market. It's just kind of the reality of what we're in today.
Yeah. No way Kyle Kuzma should have got the money he did.
Yeah, Brett said Yuta Watanabe to Phoenix on a vet minimum. Phenomenal signing.
Man, what a cool last name, man.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yuta Watanabe.
Kind of rolls off.
Yeah, better than Kyle
I'll
Edwards.
give shout out to the Lakers. I did like
I
the
was saying,
Tony
it rolls off
Prince
your tongue
signing.
really nicely.
yeah, I'm playing, bro.
No, Dylan, you're absolutely right. The Lakers had a fantastic offseason. They got,
I like the Torian Prince signing mainly.
Yeah.
I thought that was a smart signing.
He's a guy you always want on your team. When you see him play, like, I want a guy like that on my team. And it made sense. They got some good dudes. They got what's-his-face, the white kid, for $56 million. Like,
who, Austin Reeves?
Yeah, like, no one offered more to just kind of screw the Lakers. They got him at, like, if everyone else at his level is getting $100 million and he gets 56, like, what? That was shocking. That was a great move. It was a great move. I thought the Lakers had a great free agency.
Yeah, they got Jackson Hayes.
I don't care about Jackson Hayes.
No, that one didn't impress me as much.
Yeah.
And D'Lo, he's going to be traded. You know, D'Lo's going to be traded. The funny thing, if you look at D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura's contract, they match up to a pretty good-sized contract for someone like Kyrie. So don't be surprised if the reason they signed up those deals is to match salaries down the road for a big trade.
If that happens, Luka might throw a party. I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he would. I would not want
Imagine
Kyrie
being
on
like,
any
say
team.
bye to Kyrie. Here's D'Angelo Russell.
They're just all these trades are just going to drive Luka out. That's why the Mavericks are doing to Luka what the early Cavs did to LeBron of just bad trade, bad sign, bad draft, and it's just going to lead to him leaving. That's sad, but that's what I think is going to happen.
It might just happen. Now, to continue the free agency talk, there's the other side of it. Let's go. There's actually some free agents that are still out there. So once again, really quickly, who's the one guy that hasn't signed? That's the biggest surprise to you. These are just a few of the free agents that are out there. You know, T.J. Warren's still out there, Christian Wood, Kelly Oubre, Terrence Ross. There's a few others out there as well. But we can start with Dylan on this one. Who are you surprised that has not signed yet?
It's rough. I look at players like even someone like Jonathan Isaac, who hasn't signed yet. He's had his injury history, but is still great.
He's a good player.
Spencer Dinwiddie is someone that shocked me that hasn't been signed yet. He's just a good veteran point guard. I thought he would get his money. Other than that, I mean, outside of maybe some young dudes, it's mainly just a bunch of veterans who haven't really proved much in their time that they've had opportunities in the rest of their NBA career. I mean, like TJ Warren's cool. Christian Wood's a little surprising. Kelly Oubre's a little surprising, but like none of them have done exceptional things to make me think they're hot commodities on the free agent market. All of them are a little older now. I know Oubre is still probably on that younger range, but he's older than what he was. He's 27, 28. So you got to pay these guys probably a lot of money. I mean, I imagine someone like Oubre is asking probably 20, 25 million a year. It's not worth that much. Imagine Dinwiddie's probably asking for around 15, 20. I'm not sure if teams can afford that. Plus teams like to go younger. But yeah, someone like Jonathan Isaac is probably who I would say would be the most surprising. He's a great defensive piece. I mean, he played good with the Magic when he wasn't injured. He's had that bad string of injuries consistently. He hasn't been able to go out and play.
Okay. Jordan, we'll go with you next.
I like Christian Woods. I'm surprised he's not off the board yet. He's a good, shooting big. You can dominate the paint and like stretch you out on a three. I'm surprised Harden's hadn't found a team yet. I mean, Dame's still out there.
Yeah, but they're signed.
Dame's currently a Blazer and Harden's currently a Sixer, so I wouldn't count them necessarily.
Well, yeah,
I see what you're saying. That you are surprised they have
players they haven't been moved.
Right.
Yeah, probably Christian Wood's probably the most shocking because he is still young. I mean, shit. I heard the Lakers were interested in him. But oh my God, Lakers are interested in all the free.
You're not being a homer there, Jordan. There are a lot of reports of Christian Wood going to the Lakers.
Yeah,
that's accurate reporting. Yeah. I'm not going to grill you for being a homer there when you're right.
Yeah, and I think we were interested in. I think Bol. I saw like one report. But.
Yeah, and he's a free agent, and that makes sense.
The Bol hype is crazy right now. The minute he got released, everyone's like, "Oh my God, we got to get Bol." Bol's bounced around for a reason.
I hope he goes somewhere. I think he's good. I mean, like even highlights.
Like you said, Jonathan Isaac. I thought he was hurt.
But Jonathan Isaac is really talented, though. So
he's good, but he can't stay healthy.
He's not. He's a free agent, but I don't think he's hurt. Like he'd be ready to play if he was on a team again by this upcoming
ACL, I think.
I mean, you kind of just want to see Jonathan Isaac get.
I hear you.
I would love to see that.
Me too,
bro. I would be ecstatic if the Hawks signed him.
Yeah, you got to bank into having a good medical staff that can keep him healthy. I think Christian Wood is a big surprise. The guys that I have on my list for who I'm surprised are free agents are not. None of these guys are people I would want to sign on if I was a general manager because they all have flaws. Yeah. But you have to look at how other general managers have historically acted. So Christian Wood is a big surprise. T.J. Warren, everybody talks about. And then two guys that always seem to bounce around a lot is Danny Green. He's always going to find a team because he can play three. But I want him on my team? No, because I think he's kind of fallen off of a cliff. One guy that I'm surprised hasn't is Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin has accepted his role as a backup big. He played in Boston last year, and everybody in the locker room seemed to really like him. He came out, he did his part, he tried hard, but he knows he's not the Blake Griffin with the Clippers. He's accepted his role, and I think if given the right team on a vet minimum kind of situation, he could add a lot of good depth to a contending team. So I think that could be an interesting one. Before we hit Kyle's answer, I do want to ask him. We're talking about other people on extensions. Why isn't Jaylen Brown signed that extension yet? Because the max contract is pretty big. Like, there's not a whole lot of negotiation that happens in the max contract. You know the amount, you know the years. I guess there's a little bit of incentives you can throw in, but why? As far as I know, he hasn't signed that extension yet. I'm just curious why it hasn't been signed yet, and what your take on that is.
So I fully believe it's going to get done. The reason was there was other stuff to get worked out first. First was the Porzingis trade. They wanted to get that done because with the money that he extended for, that factors in as well. The Grant Williams thing, they wanted to figure that out. I do wonder if maybe there was some conversation maybe about Brown taking a little less to fit Grant Williams in, but then maybe they were just like, we'll just move Grant because they got O'Shea Brissett. They have Jordan Walsh. These are guys who are long, athletic, wing-type players. They may not be the shooter that Grant Williams was, but you can see kind of the role fit. Brown, it seems like it's going to happen probably sometime this week, next week. I just think it was just other stuff to get done before because they probably had a good understanding that Brown wants to stay. Maybe the argument is it a no-trade clause or – we don't want that in there. Is it 4 years and an option? Is it just straight 5 years? I just think it's like little details like that they're working on. But I do think it's going to happen. Trust me, a lot of Celtics fans are wondering
cynic in me is going to say, the cynic in me is going to say, hey, are they holding off until they can make a Dame Lillard trade for Jaylen Brown? Because that's like the conspiracy where
according to Dame's agent, if you're not Miami and you trade for him, he's going to pout. Which, if he's going to pout in Boston, they're going to run him out of town.
Guess what? Dame cares too much about basketball.
I will fly back to Boston, meet Dame, put him on a bus, and send him. I don't care where. I don't want Dame in Boston, to be honest with you.
That's fair. I'll say this about Dame. Yeah. I think if James Harden were to make that threat that he's going to pout and be upset if he doesn't go where he wants, we'd all believe it. I think Dame cares too much about basketball and likes playing basketball too much to just sit out and be unhappy.
But if that's the case, then his agent is really doing him a disservice by making it seem like that's like a legit possibility. Now, yes, I agree. It's probably to put pressure on Portland.
I'd be all fine going to Boston. If I was Dame, I'd be okay going to Boston.
I mean, look, I could say this as someone who lived just outside of Portland for most of my growing up years. Like, if you're fine living in Portland, like, you can make it anywhere because it's kind of tucked away in the Pacific Northwest. It's a great place, but like you're going to get a lot more attention in almost any other market besides maybe like Indy, Oklahoma City, and Utah. Like, those are the smaller markets. Everywhere else, you're just gonna, and he should be chasing rings. That's really what he should be doing. That's what's gonna help his legacy.
Because he said that thing a couple of years ago, he can't even. It can't seem like he's chasing rings because he said he didn't like that culture.
Yeah,
that's I'm like he's painting himself in a corner. Now his agent's kind of painting him in a corner, and it's just like I don't see how Dame comes out of this a winner in any way. Because if he goes to Miami, people will say, oh, you're a hypocrite. You're chasing rings. If he goes somewhere else and actually is unhappy, then it's going to be like, this doesn't seem like the Dame that we saw from afar in Portland. That was like the guy to root for and all that. It's like, I don't know. I
heard from somewhere, like an article or on Twitter, like that. That's going to turn into like a Ben Simmons situation where like.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that Portland is going to do what Philly did, and they're going to wait for the right offer. They're not going to take 30 cents on the dollar. They said they're going to wait for months.
Yeah, their GM said we'll wait months.
No, Dylan, you're to say,
man. I don't want that. I don't want more.
I was stuttering, and you got. I was going to say. No, yeah, I was going to say that. I saw an article on ESPN that they're willing to wait like months to trade.
Damn, that's the right call. So, I think that's the right call.
It's the right call for Portland, but I want to get this done, man.
I want to get it done with, but at the end of the day,
you have to do what's right for your team. You have to do what's right for your organization, and it's gonna be worth it for Portland to do. They're gonna do what's right for this new young core that they have because they have good players. If you take Dame out, you look at their young core. It's like they got some dudes. Add some more pieces. Probably upgrade the coach in a couple of years because he's not really cutting it right now, and they'll be good. They'll be good.
I see Dylan in the chat. I mean, of course, he's got to write up his Pacers. Who?
Hey, look,
I'm definitely following what the Pacers are doing. I like what they got going on.
Look, the Pacers are a great team. The reason I said for exposure is Indy's just a small market. People don't talk about it. I'm not trying to knock your team. Indy's got a great team. I think they're going to be a team a lot of people are going to watch on League Pass. It's like, oh, I want to see Indy play because they're going to be really great. And you're not going to find a bigger like Halliburton fan than me. Like he's awesome.
Dylan, what's going on with your boys? Like stylist, man. Miles Turner, man. He looked. I don't know if you saw his outfit the other day. People were like talking about it. Like
at this point in 2023, whatever anybody wears to a game, I'm no longer shocked.
That's what
I've seen enough.
I don't care. I've
seen enough wild outfits that it's gonna take a lot for me to see somebody and be like, "What is that?"
No, Miles Turner is cool. He's a good player, man. But that like people were talking about the stylist. Like who styled his clothes, man? Like, cause
who cares?
Same person who probably styles 85% of the league.
For sure.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Had to throw that out there for Dylan, man. Dylan Beeks.
So this one, once again, don't have to spend too much time with, but we know the details of the in-season tournament. Mm-hmm. It actually starts this year. It'll run November 3rd to, I believe, like December 9th. It's about a month long. So we have 6 groups. It's your 6 winners plus 1 wildcard team from the West and the East that move on to the knockout round. They're supposedly going to be some prize money based on where your team, how far your team goes into the tournament. I don't think that's been finalized yet, but that's kind of the rumor. And they showed off what the trophy will look like yesterday. It kind of gives off a FIFA type of vibe, to be honest with you. Looks like a soccer trophy, but I'm not mad at that. I do hope, fans kind of get behind the in-season tournament because I know that there's going to be some NBA fans that are just like, oh, why do we need this? But it's like, one, most international sports have in-season tournaments. The WNBA has one. Why can't the NBA have one as well?
Yeah.
So we're not going to go
it's
through.
New.
Yeah, like I'm saying, just like the play-in tournament, people hated it at first, and now everybody loves it.
That's what I was gonna say, Kyle. Is when the play-in tournament was first proposed, I was like, dude, that sucks. I don't want no freaking 10 seed potentially advancing. I hate it. And now the play-in tournament's like, why wasn't this in sooner? This is great. This makes the games are great. It makes every team seem competitive. We've seen play-in teams make it to the finals and the conference finals this year. And so I think that the same thing is going to be with in-season tournament. It's been talked about for so many years, and this is the first real meet that we have. Am I thinking it's going to be great? I don't know. Am I going to watch it? Yeah, I want to see how this goes because it's been talked about, and I want to see what this looks like. How the player. It's really up to the players and how much effort and pride they take into it. Mm-hmm. And if they make it into a big deal, then I'll keep watching it year in, year out, just like I do with the play-in tournament. Like, I'm intrigued. I can't say if I think it's going to be a good idea or a bad idea, if I'm going to watch it so I can find out exactly what it is. Because there's still so much, even though we have everything laid out, until we see it in action, like with the play-in tournament, until we see it in action, we're not going to know how great it is.
Exactly. And so the only question I have for this is, looking at the groups that are here on the screen, which group do you think is going to be the easiest, and which one do you think is going to be the toughest group? Let's start with you, Jordan. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. Before I answer, I was I wouldn't have a problem with it if like the games were like extra games, but since it's a part of the season, I don't mind because like it's still 82 games.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not like extra basketball, which is people want to rest in off season, rest up and stuff or whatever. But this part of the season is built in. It's more fun. But looking at, I think the easiest, I hate to say for Dylan, man, I think the East Ed because Harden might not be on the team. So
really, you think East A is the easiest? That's interesting. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, because they got the Pistons. Kay Cunningham is still injured. Because I would say the Bucks, but I mean they have Knicks Heat. I don't know.
You say you're not just going to mention how the Celtics have the Nets, Raptors, Bulls, and Magic. We're just not going to talk about
East C is the answer for worst.
By far. None of those 4
East-
teams are going to probably make the playoffs, except the Celtics. None of those
The
teams are going to
Nets,
make the playoffs.
the
except
Nets
Celtics.
might, depending on what
Might.
we see from Bridges, because I really like what he offers.
Mhm.
But the Bulls
Yeah.
don't know what they're doing. The Magic didn't have a great draft.
I say
and the
EC.
Raptors are in rebuild. EC
Okay.
to me is
I'm thinking because Harden, like they might, because like
Okay.
it's only
What
going to
about-
be Embiid.
What about the Pacers? And
Pacers are going to be good. The Cavs are good. The Hawks are good. Detroit's going to be better. They had a great draft.
Yeah.
So who's your toughest?
My
Yeah,
toughest,
Jordan, who's your toughest?
my toughest will probably be. Man, I'm gonna have to say that. Man, it's tough. Like so it's one of the west side.
Okay.
While you're thinking, I can just go in there. And
Yeah,
look.
say your.
So for me, like EC is the easiest. I think that's pretty easy. Like the Nets are the only team that's going to give me any kind of a scare. For the toughest, it comes down between 2 different divisions or whatever we're called groups.
Yeah.
West A, I think is going to be really tough. I know that this is starting earlier. John Morant's going to be suspended, but the
Yeah.
Grizzlies have historically played well when John Morant's out. You have
True.
the Suns; they're great. They're going to be built for this kind of thing. The Lakers, I think, finished last season as probably the 2nd best team overall in the league. Utah, they had a really great draft. They've had some good pieces, and they always play tough. Even when they lose, they're always playing tough. If they're still on the tough one to go, and then I think East B is going to be really tough. Where the Bucks, they're in this win-down mode. Miami, they're great in tournaments. We've just seen what they can do in the playoffs. The Knicks are going to be good. Charlotte and Washington are bad, so it's really just those 3 teams. But those are the 2 that really stand out. Probably if I had to make one guess for just one, it'd be West A.
Okay.
So what's safe for the
Jordan,
tough?
go ahead with your toughest, Jordan. Or I mean, do you agree that it's West A?
Yeah, I was gonna say West A because the Lakers are in there, barring where Dame goes, but it might be East B, barring if Dame goes to the Heat. It all because my toughest is relying on where Dame goes. Because if Dame goes to the Heat, then they have.
How
And then-
about we do it right now with the rosters currently set,
Right.
with no Dame trade, no Harden trade.
I think it's the Lakers. I think it's the West A.
Okay.
Sorry, I said the Lakers. Yeah,
No,
West
but
A.
that's not a crazy homer take. That's a really tough.
Yeah, because you got Bradley Beal going to the Phoenix Suns. You got Kevin Durant still there, Booker still there, and like you said, they play better without Morant. So
All 5 of those.
and they
teams,
got
like,
Marcus Smart.
Portland's the weakest of those 5 teams, and Portland can still have those big moments. Like there's no easy game. East C, you have so many gimme games. Even East B, you have gimme games against Washington and Charlotte. West A, there's really no gimme game. There's no easy.
I wonder how they're gonna do the seeding. Like one plays the 8, 2 plays the
it'll
7.
just probably be like random draw or whatever makes
I think it's
sense
gonna
on
be like a
travel.
round robin where everybody plays each other, and then it's
Yeah.
a point system
Yeah,
based on
that's
who
how it is.
advances.
Yeah, so just think like a World Cup type thing. You just play each
Yep.
person in your group once. If you're at the top, you move on, and then the best 2nd place team moves on as well. So Dylan, I mean, I guess we've all said that EC is the easiest. Do you agree that West A is the toughest?
Yeah, if it's, I'll agree that West A is the toughest if Dame is on the Portland Trailblazers right now. If he wasn't, I would probably say it's East A. Sorry, Jordan. I think you have 5 potential playoff contenders in that East team that even if after this tournament, all 5 of those teams could be in the playoffs. The Pistons, maybe. I'm a little bit higher on the Pistons. I think they have a good roster. I think they could be fairly decent this year. So I think that East A would be really rough because you're looking at 76ers, the Cavaliers, the Hawks, and Pacers, who are all going to be probably fighting for around that same playoff spot. So it could get pretty ugly in that area.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. EC is the easiest. I do think some of the West groups are interesting. Like West C seems like a really fun group with the
Yeah.
Kings, Thunder,
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Bro,
So
we're gonna get
Minnesota's kind
Wembanyama
of a
versus
mess
Chet
right now,
Holmgren
but
in that.
yeah,
We're gonna get
we got the
Wembanyama versus
Spurs
Chet.
Are the
young,
Spurs
so-
going to play Wemby? They're going to be like, oh, no, we're going to rest him. Tournament, just keep him
I
out.
doubt
I
That's
don't
when you need
know.
to let him shine. That's where you should
I
let him
doubt
shine.
it,
You're not
but
making the
it's part of
playoffs,
it.
probably. Like, if you're not making the playoffs, this is your playoffs. Win
I
this.
doubt they'll
Yeah,
do
but
that
the
because it's part of the
Spurs
season.
invented resting. So I just hold it like, are we going to show them off? They should, but you never know with the Spurs. Never know.
I think what Dylan said, because this tournament like has its own trophy and everything, I can see the Spurs going for it. And who knows? Let's say Wemby rookie year is holding up. I can't remember what they called the title, but the in-season tournament title. Sure, that's not a bad rookie year to
That'd be
have.
pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool.
All right, that's
Wait,
all the topic. Oh,
I'm
go ahead.
curious to see like what the in-season tournament like with the whole like the load management. Does that count if someone sits out?
No,
Like,
so basically how they said it's gonna work, I imagine they probably won't. They should find if you want to make this in-season tournament good, you better make sure that you can't have players rest out of it because
Right.
they just kind of defeat the purpose. I mean,
I
they
understand how they're
find
gonna do
players
that.
for improper resting. They can do it for this in this case. They've done it before. They can do it in this case. I will say my only thing on that in-season tournament, and I saw Greg's comment, is I wish they were playing for more than just money. Like
Yeah.
when we were mentioning just the idea of it, I was like the concept of them maybe playing for money plus like home court advantage if you make the playoffs throughout the playoffs. I think that would be something cool. It would give something for teams to strive for. If you're like a team that's going to be a 6th seed or a 5th seed where you won't get home court advantage probably throughout the playoffs unless an upset happens, then
Yeah.
I
like
think
winning
leagues are
that.
afraid to do that because when baseball did it, and everybody hated it so much. I don't know if any league wants to do that again.
Well, you have an in-season tournament that can win it. Like win the in-season tournament. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a good point. I don't know. Well, we all know that it's the first year of it, so there's going to be little tweaks to it as it's now implemented. And I'm sure Silver seems like a pretty smart guy. We'll look at it and see.
Oh, that's a good one.
All right,
Greg.
we can fix that. We could change this. Yeah, Greg
Automatic
has an
playoff
interesting point.
Imagine Spurs
win-
win it and they get
if
to
you
to
win
the
it,
playoff.
automatic.
See, my only
That would
What
be
if you
issue
do-
with that is like teams are not going to like try throughout the season, just only try in that in-season tournament, and we'll get like a good thing of basketball for like a month,
Yeah.
and teams are like, okay,
You could do that, but for home court, what if you did like home court through the first 1 or 2 rounds? That way, the conference
Okay, fair
finals still matters, but you could get 1 or 2 rounds. So maybe again for a team like the Lakers, who have all this talent, but they're really going to be focused on April, May, June. Hey, we start hot. That way, we get the first 2 games at home or first 2 series at home, and then see where things go in the conference finals. That could be interesting.
yeah, I do like that. I do like the first 2 rounds. I think of it as like a mini playoffs is what they're kind of going for it with there. Besides the round
think
robin
that-
aspect, so giving it through the playoffs made sense. But I like the first 2 rounds.
Are there going to be games like? Is it going to be at like a neutral site? These games,
No,
or
it's
is it going to
gonna-
be at their stadium?
It's probably going to be at their stadiums. It's probably just easier that way.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You
I
have
haven't
multiple
heard.
games a night
Because
Yeah,
then you're getting every NBA team who has to play in that group stage. That's like five games that they're not making money on for
Yeah.
each.
And plus, since it's woven into the 82 game schedule, if you were the home team that night, then that game just counts towards your in-season
home
tournament
game.
record.
Yep.
So
I imagine they also play what? They play 4 games?
4 in the group stage and then move on to, I guess, the knockout round.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
it's,
kinda
you'll get 2 and 2, I imagine then. So
Yeah.
it'd be fair.
Yep.
All right. So I do have a grid before we get out of here. And I actually found a website that does them now.
Oh,
So
Okay.
I technically can now start guessing because I do not know the answers right away.
okay.
Ooh,
That's cool.
yes.
Get Kyle in on this. All right. Or you're
I like
just
it.
saying that and you want to look smart later. You're like, oh, I know the answers.
Hey, I like to keep them
Well,
guessing.
regardless, Kyle's is going to be right this episode.
Wait, so we ever did the game of like guessing the player, like the stats and everything. That was pretty fun too.
No, it's basically the same thing. It's just that now they've become so popular that there's actual
just make 'em.
websites dedicated to them now.
All right.
So this is a grid. You guys see it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see it.
So we have the Falcons, Cardinals, Cowboys. So you got to pick a Rams player that played you know how it goes. Got Alabama as well, so they threw in college as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I already have
So let's
that
go
whole
ahead.
Falcon section done.
Okay.
Do it. Let's hear it.
Okay, so Falcons, Cardinals. Oh, Falcons. Sorry, Rams. Todd Gurley.
Good.
Then you have Jaguars, Falcons, Calvin Ridley, and then you could honestly do that again for the Falcons, Alabama, but to make it nice, Julio Jones.
There
Nice
you go.
work. I had Julio, but the other ones I had to think about. That's a good one.
I think I could get
Kill
all of
that.
these, but I'll hold my breath.
Okay.
So now it'll be LA Cardinals, LA Cowboys.
So you got Rams, Cardinals, Cowboys. Got Jaguars for the Cardinals and Cowboys, and Alabama Cardinals, Cowboys.
Oh, that's cool. It tells you the percentage of what people use in it too. I like that.
66% for Julio. You'd think that'd be a lot higher, right?
What other Falcons, Alabama players?
That's
are
the
out
first.
there?
That's who you think of.
Right.
Uh,
I'm trying to think now because I actually had the Falcons one ready to go as well, and those are the only difference was Falcons Jaguars. I had Dexter Fowler. I
yeah.
believe.
Oh,
played for
yeah,
the Falcons.
yeah.
I was just on the offensive front. Todd Gurley came to mind right away.
Yeah, that's what I had to do. So you killed that one. So now we got to think.
Oh, Alabama, the Cowboys, Amari Cooper.
Okay.
Nice. Good one.
Oh, I okay, never mind. I thought you clicked. Oh yeah, you clicked the Cardinals one on accident.
Oh, my fault.
I thought I saw that.
Nice. Good work.
Okay.
I mean, I gotta
I
prove
was just
that I'm an Alabama
I-
fan. I gotta prove my worth, man. at the Alabama fan.
I just don't know many people that play
Also,
for the
chat,
Cardinals
you are
or the
allowed to throw
Jaguars.
guesses if you have any.
Yeah. Help us out.
So Rams, Cardinals. I feel like I should know that one.
Cardinals, Jags.
Oh! I got
What?
Jaguars, Cardinals.
Okay.
Christian Kirk.
Okay.
Cowboys Jaguars is kind of interesting.
But the Alabama Cardinals just throw me off.
I'm struggling with this one.
Cardinals don't draft really, or Alabama doesn't really.
Cardinals,
don't draft Alabama.
Alabama.
It's probably gonna be like some random guy.
Alabama Cowboys.
So for some reason,
Sorry, Alabama. No, wait.
did Greg McElroy play for the Cardinals? I don't know why I'm putting him there for some reason.
Someone said Barry Church.
Barry Church, Cowboys,
Cowboys.
Jaguars.
Oh, yeah.
We can go with that one. Okay.
Well, you said that-
I mean, of course, the NFL genius knows that one. Appreciate that, Gene.
Yeah, the Alabama Cardinals throw me off.
I mean, 16.5% Barry Church, so that's deep into the genius's knowledge.
Who said Gene can play? It's like,
Just hopped on. Hey, appreciate that, Gene.
LA.
I think these Rams ones shouldn't be that hard.
LA Rams.
Rams,
LA
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Did Allen Robinson play for the Cowboys at any point?
I don't think so.
I don't think
That's
so.
what I was thinking. I was thinking.
Yeah,
I don't know, for some reason I thought.
Damn, Alabama.
Man, this is. I just don't pay attention to half of these teams.
Right. That's
Oh yeah.
Brandon Cooks. So that's Rams, Cowboys.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
He
Brandon Cooks was
did.
on the Rams at one point. He's been everywhere. He was on the Patriots too.
You could just say that name in any of these games, and you got like a 50% chance of being
Exactly.
right.
Then it might be Brandon Cooks.
All right.
So it's just
Cardinals.
I'm trying to think.
Rams.
Wide receivers, maybe defense.
Rams.
I mean, Alabama Cardinals is that one's killing me too.
Yeah, the Cardinals are Alabama.
I just don't know much
Might
about
be
the
easier to think
Cardinals.
like Alabama players and see if they actually play for the Cardinals. That was not Julio Jones one. It was not.
Jeez.
Actually, might tap out here. I don't know.
I'm on Struggle Bus City. This is
This is
okay.
this
We can
actually
do
is
this.
tough.
We can do this.
Okay, Gene just has them all. Deontay Thompson, Cards, Bama.
Is that a safety?
Thompson. Okay.
Wow. He didn't have,
Gene's
didn't have a
the
picture
low
there.
percentage ones.
Oh no, I'm maybe thinking of Jalen Thompson. That's who I was thinking of. I was like, he
Oh,
went to
okay.
Washington State.
No, Gene, you good. So technically, since I messed up the Amari Cooper one,
No, I'm looking at it. No,
guess
Sabine, I'm looking at a text message, man.
but I still want to get the Rams.
I'm not cheating, bro.
I'm gonna try to call you.
Nah, man.
Let's see.
That's hilarious.
Rams, Cardinals. Okay, we can.
Kurt Warner. Wait, did he play? No, did he play for the?
He played for the
Cardinals?
Rams. Yeah, no,
They
he
play
played
for the
for
Rams.
both.
Yeah. He played for the Cardinals, yes.
I was thinking of current players.
I
right in my
was
mind.
like,
That-
there's a
I feel like an
quarterback
idiot.
in my head. There's a quarterback in my head.
No, because like I said, it won't let me click on it. But yes, that's definitely one. Okay. But now, like I said, they also have an NBA one.
Oh man,
Oh,
okay.
another NBA.
This website's killing it right now. So, I mean, I can
an
do the
NBA
Celtics
one.
ones just to get us
Oh
going.
yeah, I bet you could.
Wait, what's
I
the
bet
one in
you
the
could.
corner, the right corner? I can't
Oh,
see
so
Two
it.
that's-
steals
2
per
plus
game
steals
in a
per
single
game,
season.
Single season. That's probably going to be the toughest one. I mean, okay. Celtics, Timberwolves, you got KG.
Oh yeah.
Celtics, Sixers, you have Al Horford.
Correct.
And then Celtics, Suns, Jay Crowder.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Knows the
Minnesota
Celtics.
Kings.
Okay, so Gene has one for the Steels. He's got AI for the Sixers.
Yep, that's a good one.
So now we got Kings, Timberwolves, Kings, Sixers, Kings, Suns. And the 2 steals per game for the Timberwolves and the Suns. For some reason, Suns steals, I'm thinking it's got to be somebody like maybe Sean Marion. I know he was really good defensively. I don't know if he would have had a season of 2+ steals, though. That's somebody I'm thinking of for.
What
Was it
about,
Mike?
what about
Was
Ricky
it Mike?
Rubio for the Timberwolves for 2 steals? Would that?
Rubio? You guys down to try it?
Yeah.
Watch me get it wrong here.
Oh, Ricky Rubio
Ah,
works.
yeah, there we go.
Ah,
Had to get
look
something
at
right.
that.
Okay, so Gene's saying CP3. So I guess that's Suns 2+ steals.
Yeah,
Really?
Let's put it in. There we go. So now we
Nice.
get the Kings.
Now the Kings.
A
Okay.
franchise that, historically maybe. Okay, so
Oh,
Kings
the
Sixers. I
King,
have it.
King Sixers. What? Chris Webber.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Kings Wolves, Kings Suns.
Kings, Wolves, Kings.
Wolves. Kings Suns. I feel like that's. So we're looking at, Let me think recently. Kings.
Oh, I mean, this is going to be a weird one, but didn't
Okay.
Rashawn Holmes play a year in Phoenix technically? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he
I was
did.
gonna
play
say
a year
him
in
because he
Phoenix.
played. He's a center on both teams.
Probably.
Well, I meant for the Kings Suns. He played.
Yeah.
in
Oh
Phoenix
yeah,
for
he
a
played for
year.
the Suns and the Kings. Yeah, I was gonna say that
Nice
player
one.
too.
I don't know why Rashawn Holmes came to mind. I guess Alex
All
Len.
right.
I forgot.
I mean,
I was thinking King centers. Alex Len's a good pick.
6.6%. So that's-
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, my next pick was going to be Alex Len, so it probably wasn't going to be
Okay.
much higher.
Was
So Kings Wolves is the last one we need.
It was it starts with a B, right? Bizlinka?
Manya Bielitsa?
Yeah, Manya Bielitsa.
You can test my.
Yeah, how are you gonna spell that one?
Bijelica.
There you go.
I say we roll with it.
Let's see.
Nailed it.
Oh, nice job, Jordan. Look at that.
Bielitsa. Look at him.
All right. Beto doesn't want to give you any credit. He said you looked it up.
I didn't. Bro. I didn't.
Oh man. Well, like I said, I know we do the grids a lot, and like I said, they've been very popular. So this website popped up, and I was like, gotta
cool
bring it
website.
onto the show. So
That's a very cool.
I'll definitely do a weekly thing.
We should do. Well, they don't have MLB, right? It's probably gonna be too hard. I guess.
They have NHL though, which I feel like that would be harder.
NHL.
Tap out.
That might be a whole show to do the NHL one.
Yeah, that's like that's a
I'll look
3-hour
around, see
special.
if there's a baseball one. I'll definitely look for that one. I mean, you're the NFL genius, Gene. We know the NFL one. You got that one down. I'll look for an MLB one. I think we can definitely work that into the show as well.
But people have so many long contracts. It's kind of like they stay with one team, but or like the Stars, you know.
Baseball is immaculate grid. Okay, I'll look that up for next week.
Oh, I have an idea. Orioles Padres. That's one team.
You don't make it. The list makes it.
Yeah, the list makes it. So
you can't start thinking about players like no.
It's supposed to be give you a week to start thinking ahead. Come on, man.
Oh, come on, man.
But I mean, thanks for that, Gene. Because like I said, I'll do that for next week. So next week we'll go NBA, NFL, MLB.
Not Sabino.
MLB. I don't got big MLB knowledge, but I'm gonna try.
Sabino, Torres. I was not cheating, my brother.
Do our best.
Yeah, we'll definitely do our best to get the MLB grid because those are popular as well. I see there's a couple of YouTube channels that I follow where they do some MLB immaculate grids. They're not too bad, so I think we could. The four of us, we can. Get one done.
What's that website called? Yeah, I know Sabino. I know. So
so the website I use, it's. Well, if I tell you, you might cheat one Tuesday.
I might want to do it on my show, man.
It's like if you Google it, there's a couple websites. I use Crossover Grid, but there's like 3 or 4 websites that are starting to get into it. So yeah, they're definitely a lot of fun to do.
So they make up the grids like for you, like the teams and stuff, like random teams.
I think that it's kind of like the Wordle craze. It's like one Wordle puzzle a day. They have one grid for the whole day, and then like midnight they'll drop another one.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So every Tuesday we will have 3 grids now because we'll add MLB to the rotation.
Okay.
Let's see, Spino
I'm gonna say charge
hard time.
They pay you. They have to pay money for that grid. No. He changes.
Yeah. Do the NFL Player of the Day. I don't even know what that is. I'll look it up. All right. Looks like there might be some other challenges that the chat's throwing out there. So
yeah, fine. I like little games like this. They're fun.
Good.
All right.
They're fun. They make my sports knowledge think. I have to think of players.
Yes.
I can't wait till we get like an absurd combo and I'm just able to shout out like someone that is like a 0.5% chance. It's gonna be my crowning moment.
Yes. So that's all I have in terms of topics and games. Appreciate all of you in the chat. Before we get out of here, is there anything you guys want to add before we get out of here?
Nope. Great show. Thanks for the audience participation. Looking forward to next week.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Like Jake just said, appreciate all of you in the chat. You guys already know when it comes to the big 3, we love you guys throwing out questions to us, getting on us, like Dino getting on Jordan for like the last 30 minutes of the show, but we're here for it. We love it.
He doesn't even know one Nemanja Bjelica highlight. I know it. No,
because he played on the Warriors too.
Yep.
So.
But I was like, when you brought out that name, I had to think real quick. Bjelica.
I didn't know his last name, but his last name kind of like, wait, did he? Cause I remember playing with him on 2K one year, and he was on the Timberwolves and the Kings.
2K
can shoot,
giving out NBA knowledge with each game.
Yeah, hey, it's
And-
crossplay. So if y'all want your ass whooped in 2K, let me know.
All right, man.
I guess.
Better log off. You better log off
Hey.
before Jordan start making false promises.
Yeah.
But hey, Madden, 2K, line it up, create a line, let's get it.
That's gonna be like a weekly thing. Jordan will come on here and be like, "Oh, I lost to you in the chat, so it's all good."
Oh my!
People are just going to be commenting all the scores that they beat Jordan by.
But Mo, good stuff, guys. Appreciate that, Mo. So you guys know
Thank you.
Big Three, we're here every Tuesday, 7:00. So make sure you hit the notification bell here on Sports Empire Network. Also, check out the other great shows because we have Line in the Sand coming up right after us. That's get you all caught up on your wrestling news and rumors and all that. So check them out. Also, start your day, coffee and sports in the morning. Great show to get you going. You'll see some of the guys in the chat. Mo, you might see Gene on there. You never know. It's always a good time. So with that, we are Big Three, and we're out of here. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.